The reading for today is from Walt Whitman. He says, "O me, O life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, of myself forever reproaching myself, for who more foolish than I, and who more faithless, of eyes that vainly crave the light, of the objects mean, of the struggle ever renewed, of the poor results of all, of the plodding and sordid crowds I see around me, of the empty and useless years of the rest, and with the rest me intertwined. The question, oh me, so sad, recurring. What good amid these, oh me, oh life? The answer? There you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. So it is.
That was good. There's 2 lines in that. I'm just going to sit. The first was, that got to me, Sandy, was his, only I can dance down the road. But right after that, he said, only I can lighten my load. So it's almost as if those 2 things are linked. How do I lighten my load? Well, I dance down the road. The road may be rocky. There may be wind, rain, turmoil. But something about dancing lightens my load. It's a waltz. I know exactly what that means. It's in 3/4. Only you can move the podium. Thanks, homie. I have friends, and then I have homies. Guess which one you just became? A homie. You're going to go home and call your husband tonight? Guess what? I'm a homie now.
You'll say I knew that all along.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Oh. Well. So I've been here a couple times. It's getting more regular, you know. I don't know why. Dusty just keeps inviting me. I think it's because she's not here. Is that what you were going to say? Were you going to say it? Really? Were you going to say that? That's because she hasn't heard you yet. So the next time she says, guess what? I want you to come and speak, but I'm going to be here. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't. But I feel like it's finally time. It's finally time for me to introduce myself. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. I'm Andy. Thank you. This is what I look like. It ain't much, but it's here. I have a body. It's always changing. I had hair once. I wasn't always this tall. I didn't always feel so achy in the morning. I didn't always need coffee. I also have a whole, lot of thoughts. Sounds like something my 9-year-old would say. I have a whole, lot of thoughts. I had a certain expectation for today, a certain thought about how this would go. I have memories. I have lots of memories from the past. They're fading. They're slowly fading, but I still have a few. Hopes for the future, expectations. I have fear. I'm afraid. I have a pretty intense fear of failure. I want this to go well. I really want this to go well. Mainly because I care about it so much. The things that bring up that fear in us are the things we care about the most. the things that really matter. And I feel like if I could say something, if I could do something, if I could just say one word or make one move or one gesture that sparked something inside one of you, and you went out today realizing how important you are, then that would be great. But I fear that that won't happen. I always have this deep ingrained thought that somehow I'll mess up. I have a lot of love. I'm a father. I have kids. That's a whole nother talk. I'm a husband. I am a son. I'm a human being. I'm a Homo sapien. Yeah, I'm a lot of things. That's me. That's who I am. And if I asked each and every one of you that same question, tell me who you are, tell me a little bit about yourself, you might say some of the same things. You might say, well, this is what I look like. This is what I think. This is who I think I am. I'm afraid of some things, and I have hopes for some things, and I like some things, and I dislike some things, and that song moved me so much. And Sandy, maybe you would say music. I have this desire. If one person could be changed by a song, then that'd be enough for me. So if I asked you that same question, who are you? What is your personal identity? You might say a lot of the same things. Body, thoughts, ideas, things like that. Bless you. But what is that? What is that? That personal self we're talking about. What is this body? And what are these ideas? And what's going on here? What makes you you? And what makes me me? What really is the difference? Where do I stop? And where do you begin? What is the boundary? What is it that's dividing us? What is going on here? As I looked more and more and more into the personal self this week, as I drudged up some ideas and as I scraped through spiritual literature and as I thought about what made me me, I realized more and more that perhaps it's less than I think it is. I have a picture I would like to show you. Did you bring my picture? No. You're not my homie. My homie would have brought the picture. That's okay. Okay, I guess we're just going to have to talk through it. At the very, very base of who you are and who I am and what this is, there's energy. Sweet, beautiful energy. And within that energy arising, there are subatomic particles. Each subatomic particle unique. Each subatomic particle different, occupying different areas of space in the sea of energy. And these subatomic particles come together and relate to one another. And they create atoms. And those atoms come together and they create molecules and compounds. And those compounds come together and create cells. And those cells make up organs. And those organs relate to one another with blood and with tissue and bone and muscle and a brain that sparks off ideas. All these forms. You starting to see? Here I am, I think I'm this one thing. Here you are, you think you're this one thing. But each and every one of us, along with every tree, every chair, every star, every grain of sand, is an entire universe of being. Each one of you is a hierarchy of countless forms relating to one another, expanding and contracting and coming together to make stuff. You're not just you, you are a universe of life. But why stop there? Why stop with this? Because all those forms, that hierarchy of life that's moving through me, supporting whom I am, giving its life to me, continues beyond me. I'm not just Andy. I'm a part of a community. I'm a part of a web of existence. I'm a part of the web of life, of Gaia. This planet is made up, just like you and I are made up, of countless other forms and objects. This planet is made up of all of us interacting with one another. Trees and squirrels and clouds and sunshine. The earth is an entire universe of forms. It's a hierarchy in itself that you and I are a part of. But why stop there? That earth, this beautiful thing that we're a part of, is a part of a system going around the sun. The sun is pulling it close, saying, come here, orbit me, orbit me, orbit me, orbit me, orbit me. But that solar system is also a part of a galaxy, and that galaxy is a part of a section of the universe called a cluster. Cluster! And that cluster, sure, why not? Neil deGrasse Tyson's not here to say, excuse me, it's actually called a because that's what I hear when he talks. But the cluster is actually a part of a lot of other clusters, making up a universe that's a hierarchy of all these forms relating to each other, just like you and I are hierarchies of forms relating to one another. And who knows, that universe, if we could possibly get beyond it, could be a part of countless other universes, all relating to one another in the grand web of life. Yes, I'm me, and I'm Andy, and you are you, and you are you, and you, and you, and you. And yes, you have ideas and a body and desires, but we're actually just a part of the web of life. So why don't we see it? Why don't we see what we are? Why don't we see subatomic particles? Why don't we see quarks and molecules? Why don't we see the web of life? Why don't we see ourselves as a part of Gaia? Why don't we embrace our connections? Why don't we understand the earth as a part of a greater web, a greater web, a greater web, a greater web, a greater web? Why don't we see ourselves interconnected with all of that? Well, it all begins here with the head. And inside that head, this wonderful organism pulsing, creating thoughts and ideas, interpreting life, and through that interpretation, creating a picture that I call me. Have you experienced life for a while now? Yes. You can say yes. Yes, we have. Have you experienced molecules and subatomic particles? Have you seen them? Have you seen the great web of life? No, because our experience of life is right here, right about here. You see, if we took that hierarchy all the way down to the nitty-gritty, the energy, the subatomic thingies, and we created a universe out of them, relation, complexivity. Is that a word?
Complexity.
Homing. You've reinstored your hominess.
I'm in and out.
You're in and out. Just like the quarks. Nice. So if you took this hierarchy of being, growing in complexity, all the way from the base elements to the universe itself, you would find that you see life at one particular level. You don't see subatomic particles and quarks. You don't see the great chain of being. You see people and squirrels and chairs and blades of grass and raindrops, and there's the sun. You see, your mind divides life based on its altitude, based on where it is in the chain of being. It can't see, it can't fathom, it can't understand what's below it. It can measure it, but it puts it together into forms. And it can't see the great chain of being above it. All it can see is its own level and altitude of the hierarchy. Your eyes see other things that are like eyes. Your nose smells other things that are like the nose. Your ear hears music at a certain frequency. We are at a level of existence. And we organize all life according to that level. And every experience we have at this level, every hand we touch, every song we hear, every flower we smell, every idea, every person we listen to and conversate with adds another picture to this mental image. Every experience at this level adds another picture to this grand mosaic that we call the ego, the personal self. See, I got up here earlier and I said, yeah, I'm handy. So I said, I have these ideas and these thoughts. I said, this is my body. I said, this is who I am. What am I saying, really? This is who I think I am. Everything you think you are is just an idea in a mosaic of images. Because all those experiences add pictures to this mosaic. Do you know what a mosaic is? Do you know what a mosaic is?
Yeah.
Would you like to tell the class?
No.
Okay. Why are you big? I love you. A mosaic is a large image that's comprised of smaller images. It's a large picture that's made up of countless smaller pictures. And that large picture is the self. It's the ego. It's who you think you are at any time in your life. And that large image is made up of everything you've ever experienced, every memory, every hope for the future, every idea, your image of your personal self, your image of your physical self. This is what I look like. Oh, but right next to it, this is what I should look like. This is what I used to look like. Hopes and fears and pathologies, everything you've ever experienced at this level of existence is comprised in a mosaic, a picture that we call the personal self or the ego. There I am. I am an image of myself. I am an idea, a collection of ideas, a very, very important collection of ideas. You see, there's two things we need to know about this image. There's two things we need to embrace about our idea of the personal self, who we think we are. One, this image is constantly changing. Just like your physical body. Remember, your physical body is just a hierarchy of forms, and every time those forms shift, your body changes. Why do you think you're growing? You're growing because you're a universe. And inside of you is countless other forms expanding and contracting. As they change, you change. Just like that, this idea of yourself, every new experience, every new idea, every time you wake up and open your eyes and see things, your brain gathers that information and puts it in the picture. Your idea of yourself is not quite as solid as you think it is. The person you thought you were yesterday, that's not the person you think you are today. And that will not be the person you think you will be tomorrow. Your idea of yourself is constantly evolving, constantly changing. Every time one small image is added to the mosaic, the whole picture changes. Every time a memory fades, that picture changes. A lot of what we do in these communities is knowledge of self. It's understanding that picture. What am I afraid of? Well, that's one of the images. Maybe if I stop giving my attention to that image, it'll fade over time and cease to become a part of my idea of myself. One, the image, who I think I am, constantly changing, just like me, evolving in and out. It's beautiful. Two, and even more important, everything I think I am, my entire catalog of thoughts, and this body included, everything Andy is. Have I built up the anticipation enough? Everything I think I am. Every image. Let's get a little bit higher. Is completely derived from relationship. I cannot exist in a vacuum. I cannot define myself without relating to other forms. You cannot know who you are outside of communion, outside of community. Every experience you've ever had is an experience of something, right? Well, what do you think that something is? It's something else. Here I am experiencing this. You derive who you are, both physically and mentally, from a relationship to other forms. Just physically, you're made up of all these little forms relating to themselves. You're not here unless they are here. And all these ideas you have are derived from your experience of other things. I exist because you're here. Let's go back to what I said about myself earlier. Hi, I'm Andy. Who gave me that name? I didn't. Hi, I'm a minister. I'm not a minister unless you're here. Hi, I'm a father. I'm not a father unless I have a child. I'm not a son unless I have a parent. I'm not a friend unless I have a friend. I'm not a lover unless I can love something. Everything I think I am is derived from relationship, from community. I am because you are. There's a word for it. Archbishop Desmond Tutu says, Ubuntu. Amen, Nika. You can clap, sister. Archbishop Desmond Tutu made this term very, very popular. I forget which African dialect it's in, but the term is Ubuntu. And he says, Ubuntu. It means I am because you are. I am because we are. I derive my very existence in relationship, in community. I can't think of who I am unless I relate to something. I can't be who I am unless other things relate to me. I am because you are. I'm part of a hierarchy of being. Other beings giving to me so that I can give to other beings. I'm part of a chain of life, a beautiful chain of life. And that says everything to me about purpose. Why am I here? Why are you here? Why Andy? Why this idea? You see, every one of those tiny little subatomic particles are unique expressions of God's being, living their life and their purpose just by being unique expressions of God's being. Everything that comes into life is fulfilling its purpose just by being alive, just by being unique, and they relate to other subatomic particles and create other forms that are fulfilling their purpose by being a unique expression of God's being. And they relate to other forms, creating me, who's living his purpose just by being a unique manifestation of God's being. The only thing you need to do on this planet, in this reality, is be you. That is your purpose for being alive. You are a unique expression of God's being, just like every form contributing to you and every form you contribute to. You are living your purpose just by being you. Which brings me back to the importance of this image. Why does the ego work so darn hard trying to know itself, trying to create definition? Why? Why do I work so hard trying to figure out who I am? I really don't know yet. I was hoping it would come to me. Aha! Got it. Because I'm a gift. But how can I give that gift unless I know what that gift is? The more I know about myself, the more I know about my uniqueness, my beauty, my passions, my fears, my talents, the more I realize that those talents are only there because others give them to me, because life gives to me, because life gives to me. The more I know who I am, the more I can give myself away, which is what this chain of being is all about. Life, giving to life, giving to life, giving to life. There you are. Giving to life, giving to life, giving to life, giving to life. How do I live my purpose? How do I become more of who I am? Well, it starts by knowing thyself, and it ends by giving that away. You've got to keep the movement moving. Does that make sense? Life is movement, and you've got to keep the movement moving. I often think, I don't know if you do, I do, this is just me. How can I help? Serve? How can I give? Such a big, complex universe. How can I give to it? I've been given so much. I didn't choose this subatomic particle to create me. I didn't manifest this into being. God put this here. I'm a result of this. I didn't make you come today. I'm a minister because you allow me to be. Thank you. So how can I give? When all I am is a product of everything, how can I give? How do I give back to that? How do I repay it? I give it away. That's all you have to do. Just give it away. Keep the movement moving. You are a unique manifestation of God experiencing life. Give it away. Give who you are to everyone you meet. Every single nuance of this chain of being, give yourself to it. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. You are a gift. Each and every one of you is a gift. If nothing I said made sense, which is possible, believe me, if you could just remember one thing, remember that you are a gift that is here because you've been given a gift. So give it away. You, yourself, who you are, this being, this collection of subatomic particles in a hierarchy of being. I love those words. They're so sexy. This, you are a gift just by being here, just by being present. You walk into a room, your gift is given. Be present. Give it away. Keep the movement moving. It all began with energy. And then a few particles related to one another. And they made something else. And they made something else. And we call that evolution. And what a gift it is that the powerful play goes on. And you get to contribute a verse. The powerful play goes on, and you get to contribute a verse. Pray with me. Ubuntu! I am here because of you. I exist in relationship. I exist in community, as do we all. So in this moment, I am thankful for the gift of life that has been given to me in this moment. I am thankful for life moving through me, and I open myself to it. I accept it. I am grateful for it, and I give it away. Life keeps moving. I make that choice to be a part of it, and I ask you to make that choice as well. So grateful for every subatomic particle, so grateful for the web of life, so grateful for this image of myself, this ego, so grateful for each of you because I am here because of you. So grateful, so grateful. In this moment here and now, life is moving and I commit myself to keep it moving. And so it is, amen, and thank you so much for defining me. Thank you.